welcome. We just starting this usually with no warm up, no warning or at all. But Cole, I just want to speak to you as if we're just having a conversation and pick your brain a little bit about your journey, what you've learned across the years or months or days that you've been an agency owner. Days,
Yeah.
as if you've only been here for 7 days. But anyways, yeah, I'm happy to be working with you too and seeing the success you've been having, closing that client, for example, with the one call close. But I'm just gonna be asking you questions, and
Mhm.
feel free to throw things back at me if you want. But I want to kick it off by asking you quickly, and I love this question. Is what is your number one lesson getting to where you are right now? Which, if you don't mind sharing,
Mhm.
practically, where are you currently right now? Like, MRR or clientele, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, so currently right now, I don't know the exact number. I think we're around 17 or 18 clients. MRR is a little hard to come down to. I would say this month we'll easily hit the 10K mark. Last month we hit 6K, and then looking to be doing, upwards of 20, 30K going forward the next few months. So I feel like we've kind of got it dialed in this last few months. So definitely going to be shooting high.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So let's bring it around again and ask that big question. What's the number one thing you've learned across your agency journey thus far?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned overall, and I don't think this gets enough attention, is especially working on your mindset and addressing, the fears you have going forward. Especially a lot of us new agency owners come in, we just want to make money online. We want to, get these clients and we think we're ready for it. But deep down, we have fears about client fulfillment. We have fears about getting on those sales calls. And if we don't take a look at those and evaluate whether those are even rational, you're not going to be able to move forward. It's not going to feel easy. And that's going to be a big roadblock, especially if you're afraid of, getting clients, of having to fulfill, of talking to them and asking them to pay you. It's not going to be easy when you do it. You're going to have resistance and you're going to move backwards and back to what you're comfortable with. So I think as a new agency owner, it's very important to take a look at what you might be afraid of moving forward, what's stopping you, and what you might even just be nervous about. Because though it may seem like, yeah, everyone's nervous for their sales calls, everyone's nervous to ask for that money, how would that person in the future, you a year out, 3 years out, 5 years out, how would they be able to ask for that money? How would they feel when a client is unhappy? How would they act? How would they feel? And I think you need to start embodying that now so that you can then get yourself closer to that future you.
Wow, beautifully said. Yeah, it doesn't get talked a lot, or it doesn't get specifically talked a lot in the agency space. We always talk about
Mhm.
mindset and hustling and grinding, but it's specific. I like that. What was that for you, if I may ask? What was your biggest hurdles thus far? It doesn't go away, but
Mhm.
what was one of the biggest ones that you were aware of and
Yeah.
overcame?
Yeah. No, actually, very recently, end of July, so only like a month ago, I realized there was a big fear I had, which was clients messaging me saying they were unhappy about something. It would take me back. I would get into that fear, guilt, dread, shame. I feel like I'm not succeeding, and I would self-sabotage myself. And so once I realized that, I tapped into my future self being, in the future me, me 1 year out from now. When that happens, he doesn't take it emotionally. He's calm, he's relaxed, he's in control of what's going on within his business, and he takes action on that. And also overall just taking, responsibility for that which you have control over. You don't want to be trying to take responsibility for the fact that, you tried your hardest, you may have, done everything you could and they just didn't succeed. That's not your fault. You did everything you could and you take responsibility for that which you can't control.
Amen. Amen. That's something that Sergio Tavares, as we look up to, and he's our coach, preaches. One of the
Mhm.
things that I remember is, like, position yourself as Apple. Like, when they have a defect iPhone, they might have a callback, worst case, but they're not going to stop selling. They're not going to close up shop. They're not going to stop doing beautiful marketing, right? They're going to continue. Even obviously cars are the biggest ones that do call up. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge in production for them, but they still keep selling their cars, right? And a lot of us have that fear that we need everything to be perfect in order to do sales, right? Which is why people
100%.
focus so much too much on client fulfillment and build up that fear. Yeah. So you mentioned getting to 30K a month, 50K plus in the next few months. That's awesome, man.
Mhm.
What is the number one thing that's going to get you there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that especially I have a lot of work to do on is building a team of A players. Right now, of course, a lot of it is done on my side of things. I've recently gotten some help, especially with the media buying side of things. I have VAs that do a lot of the outreach for my clients, but I think, building that team that's going to be able to help me scale there is going to be one of the number one factors, because I think I have everything in place to do the sales, to get the new appointments, to get the clients, but I need to make sure that I'm able to comfortably do that at scale.
I like that. I like that a lot, because that is the truth. You can only do so much as an agency owner and play Superman, but
Mhm.
it's all about building Justice League. So get a bunch of A players around you. That's really good. Okay, this is a random question. It just came to my mind, but I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you this. You're in Agency Lab. So if for those who don't know Agency Lab, you're not in the agency space then. You really are living under a rock. But I'm joking. Essentially inside Joel Kaplan's, we have like 33, 35 coaches now in Agency Lab flagship. What would be your coaching call if you had one?
I would love to have my own mindset call. I mean, it's something I study mindset every day. I have it chunked out on my calendar 30 minutes every day. I do everything I can to, work on myself. So if I could have my own call, 100% it would be a mindset call and just helping people out, especially the newer agency owners that don't really understand like mindset is a huge part of this game and it has to be, respected for, moving forward in your business.
Absolutely. I believe, especially, I love how you said it's, especially in the beginning stages, because 0 to 10K, to be honest with you, is 100% just mindset and being consistent with the way you see the business and developing the skills and experience, getting over those fears, going full circle to mindset. Then from like, I would say 15 to 30K, it's all about building out, operations scale, like while not neglecting sales, that's given, but building out an actual team like you mentioned to allow you to build the foundation, the bedrock for it to take off, right, for the fuel. And then from 30 to 100K is paid ads. I'm not joking, I'm half joking, but it's true. It is 100% true. But that's pretty much how it looks like, 0 to 10K. Thanks for letting me know. I am the community manager, so I can make things happen, just letting you know.
All right.
Is there any questions you want to ask me? I've already asked you 4, I believe.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of turn around the same question. What do you think was something you had to overcome, maybe a fear you had about succeeding that you overcame? And as soon as you overcame it, you started seeing a little bit more of that success and that popcorn effect.
I haven't shared that. That's a great question, Cole, and touche for throwing it back at me. This is a little specific, but it comes back to that take full responsibility topic. Dylan Kasanov, my business partner, he's been with me since 2018, always giving credit, because if he didn't approach me in high school and said, who is Iman Gaji, I would have never started SMMA. Maybe later, but he's the one that got me started. But I will say there was times when he wasn't pulling his weight and I would get pissed and I would always blame him. And we've learned, like, I just started taking care of the front end. He started taking care of the back end. But shit, man, I was always blaming retention. I was always blaming, like, why are we losing this client? This client was good. And I would always just kind of beat myself up, right? It's like in football, there's 2 teams, offense and defense. Obviously, offense is the sales, defense been the back end. I'd always be scoring points, I believe, when that wasn't actually true. I was scoring like field goals. It was awful. Imagine that, like safeties are chargeback. That's crazy. Dude, these analogies can go wild. But getting back to it, just getting straight to the point, it's like he would let people score too, right, on defense. And I'm be like, now I have to score more. I have to keep scoring. And I would just always get pissed at him. Was it true? A bit. Yeah. There's things that we all can improve upon in the back end and whatnot. It's part of the game of business. But I allowed that to really affect my sales and affect, like, like my confidence. So I finally took full responsibility. And again, I'm not saying Dylan didn't do his part, but I literally went in there now and was like, okay, what do we need to fix? What do we need to do? I was hopping on calls with Brandon Spears, who's our advertising coach, and he was helping me out so I can help Dylan out. And the next thing I know, Dylan followed my lead and was able to start taking care of our clients more. Next thing I know, we have 6-month, 8-month clients in the gym space. And so one of the biggest things that I learned from this was stop blaming people. Even if it's not your full responsibility, position it as it is, because it is your team. Like, Dylan is my team, and it's my responsibility that I lead him and vice versa. He also leads me, right? So it's one of those things where I put off the blame and use Dylan as a scapegoat, for example, to just say, hey, this is the reason why we're not hitting 10K, 15K, 30K. But nah, I said, fuck that. I'm going to do whatever it takes, even if that means putting him on my back, per se.
And I think there's some really good points you brought up in there, especially like as much as you can try and just do more, do more, do more. If you're operating at this really bad energy level, you're angry at everything, you feel ashamed of yourself for not succeeding, you're going to put out that energy and attract things that confirm that from you. So, even like you said,
Mindset coach.
if you're angry and you're sitting here and you're saying, why didn't this client stay? I'm mad. I wish we just did this. I wish, then that's going to transfer that energy to Dylan. That transfers to your clients, that transfer over every call that you have. And that's all you're going to attract. But once you kind of make that shift of, maybe I'm grateful for the clients we do have. I'm grateful I have Dylan here to help me, that's going to uplift Dylan, that uplifts your clients, and that energy comes across on your calls. And that was, a really big point for me. Once I was no longer afraid of, my clients not succeeding, I was able to transfer that energy on the sales call. I transferred it to them, gave them that assurance, and they could feel it through me.
Beautiful. Yeah. One of my favorite things I say to myself is, and I tell this to people in school, which we can dive into in a second, is the saying, like, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
100%.
It always stays with me. If I'm bored at some place, maybe I'm with friends and I'm just bored, I'm like, the way I do one thing is the way I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna carry this boredom into business. I'm gonna carry this weight into life. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So let's get to school. I actually don't know, Cole. Like,
Yeah. I
did you
could run you
graduate
through my
or
backstory, my little villain,
go for it?
not my villain, sorry, my hero story. So I've been working on my agency for about close to a year now. November will be our 1 year. And I was originally in college. I was doing community college while working full time. I actually was, I worked at a inbound call center for old people's insurance. I attribute that to my ability to be very calm on my calls, especially talking people through Facebook stuff, because they can get very agitated.
Mm.
But with that, I was working full time, doing school and working from home. And all of a sudden, I got a call one day after work, no notice. I got laid off. I was 3 months in. I had planned, so far ahead with this. I thought I was going to become a manager. I had this plan, that I was going to wing my way up, and it didn't pan out. So I took the kind of path. I was looking for new jobs, and I started to realize I didn't like working for anyone else. I wanted to do my own thing. I felt like I could be successful. And so, like most people, I took the dive into Iman's course. And ever since then, it just, has taken off.
By the way, you still have that
Mhm.
email? You know how Joel still has that email of him not making the job that, he always talks about? You
I
have that email
don't think
for
I
you?
do. It was a call I received. So they texted
Oh,
me. So yeah, I probably do have it somewhere actually saying that I, need to return all my work gear and like all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting. And so yeah, I was in the process of, I was still in school, my first semester, starting my agency, and I just wanted to go all in. I didn't want to, leave anything behind. I knew school wasn't for me. So my first semester afterwards, I completed it. I dropped out of college. And so for the past year now, my full-time 50 hours a week has been my agency. It's, blood, sweat, and tears into this. And it seems like it's been working pretty well. It's paid off. But, it's definitely been a tough journey getting to this point.
now I just want to touch on this because I know half of the battle isn't just figuring out whether you want to drop out or not, but half of the battle is the parents. Did
Yeah.
you have like a conversation with the parents? Was it smooth? Was it bad?
So it's interesting. I told my parents I was going to take a semester off, put some time to the business, see if it was going to work out. I even told them, if I don't make money by the end of, the next semester, I'll re-enroll. Next semester still rolled around, which was it's just about to start the next semester for fall because I took spring off. And my parents brought it back up to me. They said, hey, I'm making a bit of money. It's, better than at my full-time job, but it's not anything, the 10K a month I
Life
wanted to be
stage,
at.
yeah.
Yeah. And they asked me, let's re-enroll, let's get you back in, even if it's a few classes, like it would be wasted potential to not get a degree. And it took a lot of thought. It took a lot of, self-reflection because you always have input from everyone else telling you, hey, just why not spend the extra few hours every week doing school? Getting a degree doesn't hurt. But I think there were two key factors that played into me not re-enrolling. One was that it wasn't within my future vision of myself. I never envisioned myself having to need a degree to work for somebody that I'm going to become, just another 9 to 5, something or other. Of course, within my future, if business partnerships come about, if I end up working, say how you work with an agency lab, it's something you enjoy. But it's like I never envisioned needing a degree to do that. So that's one part. Also, was that it was almost reaffirming in my mind that I'm only getting this degree as a safety net in case I fail. And I don't see myself failing. I see the success I'm going to have. I see where I'm going to get. And so why would I need a safety net if I already know I'm going to get to these different points in my life that I already have envisioned for myself? So that's what's played into, my part of not re-enrolling in college and just kind of sticking to my guns here. Of course, all respect to everybody who does school, everything like that, especially you. I mean, like it's a lot to kind of, manage school, manage your agency, manage your social life. And a lot of respect to you guys for doing that. Just personally, that's kind of how things ended up rolling for me.
Wow, it's self-reflection and understanding what's best for you, understanding what you want in the future. I love that. That's a really good story. And, I'm happy that your parents are supportive. That's
Yeah.
external from us for every situation. I know some people who've done extreme things, from lying to not telling their parents they did not enroll, type of thing. But anyways, it is something that weighs on a lot of our generation's mind. So like building a business, becoming an entrepreneur, is this for me? Do I go to college or not? So it's like a scale. There's no right or wrong answer. It
Yeah.
always comes from insights of like, this is what Cole says. Maybe I'm resonating with it, maybe not. But that's why I love having this
Yeah.
podcast or this interview, is understanding your guys' point of view.
I think overall, you need to let it be an internal decision. Everything within your life, if you rely on the external pressures, rely on what people think of you externally, you'll never be truly happy. It's just the case. True happiness ultimately should come from within. It should be something you decide for yourself, and that every day you wake up and choose to be happy. And so, if something externally isn't making you happy, if somebody's making a decision about your life that isn't going to truly, work towards your goals, I think you should be more inclined to take your internal decision, take what you believe, regardless of every external pressure, what other people think you should do, and believe in yourself overall.
That's beautiful. No, I'm happy that I accidentally, maybe I didn't ask accidentally. Maybe there's an intuitive thought that went in my head and says, maybe Cole can be a mindset coach. So that also leads me to want to ask another question I haven't asked anyone yet.
Mhm.
I don't mind asking you, like, are you looking to, in the long term, sell your agency, or keep it in the long term for as long as you want and make it a
Mhm.
cash cow type of thing? But do you have any other things that you want to do outside of the agency, like in business or in life, start a new thing that maybe the agency's helping you, whether it's financially or building the skills of running a business? Is there anything outside of this that you want to start yourself?
So I don't think business wise, I specifically have my next one in mind. I think
Oh, that's
I'll
cool.
end up eventually selling this off within the next few years. That would be the goal. And then venturing into, something new, something interesting. Because I think agencies are a great stepping stone to kind of get into this world, learn all these skills, and then even, take that knowledge into your next, adventure. There's a lot of things I'm specifically, interested in personally. For one, it's a bit of a weird fact about me. I'm kind of a philosophy nerd, to where I read a lot of like history books
Yeah,
on philosophy
love that.
podcasts. It's a lot of what I consume outside of business. So I'd love to kind of have my own time to kind of do more on that, spend, time, doing what I love on that side of things. But I don't think specifically I have a next stepping stone for myself. I think it's, as it comes, the next business will naturally unfold and I'll just kind of move from there.
No, absolutely. That's a great answer. It's something that Jared Curry and Matt Shields talked about on their podcast with Joel Kaplan. Was like, dude, I don't know what tomorrow's gonna look like. I don't know what I'm gonna do after an agency stuff. Like, but that's what makes life enjoyable. It's like you don't know what the next journey or the next roller coaster you're gonna go on. It's really fun that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to always plan things out that way. I thought that was interesting. I just got an idea for for the title of the mindset call coming up.
Yeah.
I am planting this in my mind, in your mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna call it agency philosophy. Ooh, that sounds good.
That's tough. That's
That,
tough.
that goes hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No, I'm
approve?
a fan of that. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll ask people who watches this, like, drop in the comments if you approve agency philosophy or if you have a
Agency
better title.
philosophy.
Agency
No, I'm a
philosophy.
fan. I like it.
It sounds like a lot of burden to hold. Socrates and all
Agency
these Greek.
philosophy. Yeah, no, that's gonna be a whole different type of call there. That'll be interesting. But yeah, no, 100% I'd be down.
Okay. I don't even think I don't know. Like, I'm like, Sergio can have it for sure. I'm like, damn. Anyways, we're gonna round this up here. What is, out of everything we talked about, if you can go back November 2022 when you started this all, what is something you can a tip that you would love to give to yourself almost a year ago?
I think the biggest tip I could give to myself, similar to kind of, the theme of, everything we've talked about so far, is to stop worrying about what everyone else is thinking about you. Stop worrying about, they're judging me because I'm not succeeding already. They're probably judging I haven't signed a client in my first month or two, everything like that. Enjoy the journey, because there's going to be times you look back and you're going to say, wow, like I really, sat there sending 100 personalized emails a few hours every day. And now I send 1,000 automated with a click of a button. There's going to be times you look back on it and nothing is a waste of time within the whole. I know this is kind of a, loaded answer, but nothing is a waste of time. Everything that you do, you're always learning. You're always, enhancing your journey and getting to that next stage. And every part of that's important. So not only just enjoy everything that you do, the daily actions, having the opportunity opportunity to work on a business, but also stop worrying so much about what everybody else externally is thinking about your business. Be happy within yourself of your business and that you're taking that leap, and put less focus on what everybody else thinks about you and what you're doing with your time.
That's amazing. Cole, I'm happy that we were able to do this. And I look forward to part two, potentially, maybe when you have that agency philosophy coach too, coaching
Yeah.
part two. But anyways, thank you, Cole. If you enjoyed
Mhm.
this, drop a like. And obviously, we would love to hear, one, if you really like that agency philosophy title, and two, what your probably biggest takeaway for yourself. Would love to increase engagements from my YouTube. Just see what everyone's taking away. It's amazing what people share with me in person on these calls. But anyways, Cole, again, thank you so much, man. Keep crushing it. The day's just
Yep, I
started
appreciate it.
and you already closed the client on the one call close. Keep it up, man. And yeah, let's keep doing this.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Peace.